right? Shalom.
Shalom.
You know, you always start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to
YAHAWAH,
YAHAWAH,
SHEM, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH.
Double honor to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, peace and safety to the elect, right? And as you know, brothers from Great Millstone Atlanta Church, all right, back again with another lesson through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Okay, and the title is called Strap On Your Boots and Get in the Trenches. All right, basically, we just want to hit the point of doing the work, man. You know, as we see the days approaching, all right, YAHAWASHI's second coming, you know, the time of Jacob's trouble, Esau cracking down. You want to take advantage of the time we have doing this work, man. All right, filling out spiritual bank accounts. You know, the apostles put out orders, brothers do 3. Really, they gave brothers free range. As long as you get 3 videos a week, you know, you basically in good standing. But really, you should really be pushing to do more. All right, that's why the Apostle Hart said, get in the spirit of doing 3 videos a day. You know, basically putting in your mind of pushing the word, man. All right, and this word is, you know, it's to some it's not it could be grievous if you're not in the spirit. All right, and this is grunt work, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we title it "Strap On Your Boots and Get in the Trenches." You know, this work is not for it's really for men, man. All right, you got to be a man to do this work, man. It's grunt work.
All right.
All right.
Get something for you real quick now.
Kind
of. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 10 and verse 33. And he said unto me, stand up manfully, and I will advise thee.
Yeah, stand up manfully, man. All right, stand up like a man. All right, not like a little bitch, so to speak. You know, or weakling. Speak about Lord in what it say? Put off not at spirit of fear. Also, put off not at weak nature. Yeah. You know, so you got to be a man in this thing, man. Yeah. You know, this particular work that we in. All right, you know, as far as in the ministry, it takes a man to do this thing, man. All right, go ahead.
That was all.
Okay, kind.
I got something.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 8:1. Does not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She stands in the top of high places, by the way and the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men.
Right. So the YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, his voice is going out to the sons of men, the men, man. All right, and that's who this work was given to. It was given to the men of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. All right, and in due time, you know, if you're not moving in that spirit, all right, you got a funny type of spirit. All right, you got an ulterior motive or another agenda. Then hey, you're gonna be cast out, man. The Lord is looking for laborers, man. He's looking for workers. Yep. You know, one that's willing to get down and dirty, so to speak. All right. So his title is "Strap On Your Boots and Get in the Trenches," man.
I got something for you.
Go ahead.
I didn't look up because the word kept coming out grunt, like grunt work.
Yeah.
So I put the etymology of the word grunt. Just on the background and then get to the point. It says from 1550s, from grunt as a type of fish. From 1713, so called from the noise they make when hauled from the water. But here's the point. It says, meaning infantry soldier, emerged in U.S. military slang during Vietnam War. First recorded in print in 1969, used since 1900 of various low-level workers.
Yeah, boy, hold up. Scripture say, yeah, the trenches, man. Yeah. All right, and now the Lord said He chose them the low, you know, or the weak things in the world, so to speak, man.
Rich in faith.
You know, yeah, rich in faith. Scriptures also say by the foolishness of preaching, it'll please YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man. You know, so you got to be a special brother to have this opportunity to do this work, man, and get down, man.
You know, I can say something too. When you watch the movie Platoon, I forget the individual's name, the main character, main actor offhand, but he was basically doing like an observation of all the men that was in the military. He basically was saying, you know, they were basically they didn't make it in society. You know, they were the lowest class, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, but he was like they pushed, you know, to fight. He was like, even though, you know, they was, you know, still, you know, looked at as the pieces of so-called crap in society, they were still fighting for their country. And, you know, he said, because they're grunts, and grunts could take it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that was one, you know, memorable thing that he said. Grunts could take it, and that's us. We represent those grunts, man.
Right.
Because grunt workers can take with everything that comes with the plate, man. You know, when you watch like The Matrix, to show you how they was eating damn near the worst food. You know, they was in the boringest lifestyle. You had the one individual. He had to watch the computers all day, just look at the numericals on the computer. You know, and that's us. We ain't living off of the fashion of this life. You know, we're not jet setting. You know, going to Singapore and going to Europe and Africa. We're here pushing this word, man. You know, and if it's not involved in this word, in most cases, really in all cases, we shut it down, man. Because this is first priority. This is what we put our energy and our lives into as a full sacrifice. The scriptures speak about how we're dead to this world and we're living in YAHAWASHI. Essentially being a grunt worker, man. That's right. You got some more on that on grunt?
No, that was it.
Go ahead, man.
Because the brother was saying how the Lord deals with the low or the meek. This is Proverbs 147. Now I started 5. I mean, it's like in Psalms 147 and 5. It says, "Great is our Lord, and of great power. His understanding is infinite. The Lord lifteth up the meek. He casteth the wicked down to the ground."
Yeah, you got it. Yep.
And that's what the Lord, He deals with the low. You know, so you can't come in this thing with having a proud spirit and thinking you know everything, because then the Lord won't be doing it.
That's right. That's right, bro.
Yep. I got one really quick to follow him
Go
up.
ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 1. I'm gonna start at 21. It says, well, you know what? I'm gonna go to the point 27. It says, but the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the Most High has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. Mm-hmm. So that's what you call low level grunt working men that's actually building on the foundation, which is YAHAWASHI. That's really the nastiest part of the job.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And you got to start building on top of the foundation. That's when you have to, you know, make sure that things are properly built, because you're building on the foundation. So then everything that you build upon it, you know, is going to take, you know, a level of strength. It's going to take a level of endurance, grit.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have dust flying all in your mouth and your eye.
Yeah.
You know, and things of that nature, because you're trying to get the house established. You know, and once the house is built, then you do the finishing touches. It's pretty much set up. So, you know, the grunt work, you know, that's why the brother said, what, strap on your boots. And who wears boots? The soldier.
Right. Yep.
You know, the soldiers wear the boots, because we the spiritual soldiers of YAHAWASHI, and we in the time of spiritual warfare, when the opposition is really scratching and trying to figure out how can he come against us. You know?
That's right.
So we got to have a bootstrap, and we have to, you know, prepare ourselves for this spiritual battle, because it's going to be spiritual. Esau wants to make it carnal, but we're not going to feed into the carnality. He's going to have to fight the war according to how we coming, because you can't fight the spirit with the flesh, because the spirit is going to always win. You know, so Esau is going to have to try to fight the spirit with another spirit. And he's not going to be able to do anything, because there's no spirit higher than the spirit of YAHAWASHI, which we believe that we have here at Great Millstone.
That's right.
You know, but I just wanted to bring that point out.
That's right. I got something. Go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy 4:2. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. That's right. So preach the word, be instant in season, out of season. And you know, through the Spirit, Great Millstone, all right, through our apostles on down, you know, they've set that standard of pushing the word continuously, man, and not giving up. You know, you got these other camps, they take breaks during the winter. you know, and that's a part of grunt work, having to go out there and you know, having to go out there in inclement weather, you know, and harsh weather conditions, man. But we was out there, man. It was brick cold this winter in Atlanta, but we was out there because that's what a soldier has to endure. I'm gonna read it one more time.
And the brothers in Chicago, the brothers
Yep.
New York, and all those cold weather areas. Yeah, Toronto. They was out there, man. They wasn't taking breaks winters, you know. Even though they was freezing they behinds off, you know, snowing, still got to push to work. Just like you were saying, and that's the thing about being in the military too, man. You fight in different terrains, man. You might fight in the hot, you might fight in the desert, you know, like Operation Desert Storm and these different things. But you know what, you camouflage, you put on that attire, man, according to the type of tempo that you actually are fighting in, man. So it's the same thing. When we fight in cold temperatures, guess what? We gotta be cold-minded. We gotta be brick cold in these type. If we in hot temperatures, guess what? We gotta be on fire, man. We adjust, man. We don't break, we don't fold, we adapt to our climate. You go ahead.
Got it. Yeah, I'll just read it one more time. It's 2 Timothy 4:2. Preach the word, be instant, in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, and just like your military leaders, what do? They go hard, man. They go hard on the men that's under them. You know, reproving them, rebuking them, making sure you know everything is running tight, and that they don't make any novice mistakes. You know.
And that's how you know. That's how you can dictate what side is going to actually reign superior, by the aggression. All right, by who's the ones that's willing to do what it takes, the sacrifices. All right, and what they have to lose. All right, and that's all according to how much they're putting out, man. You know, you read that in Sun Tzu, the Art of War, man. They speak about that, how you can actually precipitate or dictate the outcome of warfare by the mind frame of the people, man. Because the people collectively represent the military. We represent a spiritual military, and it's all about what we do to show and represent how bad we want this kingdom, man. And one thing about it, just like the brother was reading, being instant. That's an example amongst many in the street.
Right. Exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. That's right. And sticking to the doctrine is important too, especially in these times. You got guys bugging out left and right over the doctrine. Right? You know, and that's a part of having one mind, because all the in order to take down a kingdom, you have to have men that's on the same accord.
Unity.
You know? Yeah, unity. Yeah. Y'all brothers got it.
If I can say too, that's why the scriptures say, be like-minded. You know, because the body, you know, is like-minded. We're all doing one thing, one accord, and one mission. It's the Lord Father Most High, YAHAWASHI, and just teach the truth, you know.
And work out our own salvation with fear and trembling.
God.
And that's one thing about the military too. They be walking on eggshells, man, because they know at any time you could walk on a landmine. You could get sniped if you're in enemy territory, if you're actually in the wrong position. If you see the enemy, or if the enemy sees you before you see him, guess what? You out of there, man. That's right. Moving insufficiently, making foolish, like the brother said, novice mistakes. All these moves that we making to the top in the times to come has to be calculated, well calculated.
It has to be thought out.
That's right. It's chess, man.
If I can add to your point, if you don't mind, I'm just thinking about the topic and then just the visualization of of warfare, man. You got different sectors of the men who are at battle, man. Like you might be in the army, but you in the army, you got to rely on the Navy. You got to rely on the Marines. You got to rely on the Air Force. A big part of being in the right position is working, as brothers going into, working as a unit and working as in one force in unity. Because just because I'm in the Navy, the Navy conquers the seas so that the Marines and the Army can get to the opposing lands. And then when you're in the opposing lands, if you're in the Army, you got to rely on what? You got to rely on the Air Force to clear your path so you can continue to move forward safely and you reduce casualties.
That's right. And you know what too? That goes to show that you have to know how to move on your respective terrain. Yeah. If you in the Air Force, you have to know how to maneuver in the air. because that's the terrain, or I ain't gonna say terrain, but that's the environment or the atmosphere in which you're fighting. As well as in the seas, you have to know how to navigate the seas. You have to know how to navigate the air. If you're fighting on land, you have to know how. You have to know maps. You have to know east, west, south, north. All right. You have to know certain things when you're in a battle, and you got to know how to move. Like what the brother was saying, like you shouldn't be all up in no clubs.
Right.
You know, all up in the clubs and shit after camp. You know, every week.
Right.
You know, parlaying with the spiritual demon Satan. You know, moving all in forbidden territories, going to hood stores at 12 and 1 in the morning, standing out on the block.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to remember that you engaged in warfare. The scripture say, "No man at war entangleth himself with the affairs of this world." You know,
That's right.
you got it out.
Yep.
Well, you want to say something?
No.
Go ahead.
It's just a quick precept. Just like he was going to the clubs and things of that nature, basically moving with a sense of foolishness. 1 Peter 4:3. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatry.
Yeah, reveling is like that party going spirit. Banquets is, you know, always at some feast, buffet,
Cookout.
you know, cookout niggas, man. You know, at the park. Like, come on, man. That's not the spirit you're supposed to be moving in, you know, dealing with these times.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to be locked into the ministry.
That's right.
You know, you're supposed to be enduring all things for the elect's sake.
That's right.
You know, at the end of the day, that's the type of spirit that you're supposed to be walking in. The elect. You know, what can I put out today to help a brother in the spirit? Is there a brother that may need a ride, may need some shaqualia? You know, you have to look out for your comrades. Man. You know, that's where the word camaraderie comes from. Comrade, which is basically a comrade when you go into it, or camaraderie mean when two people are joined in one room. Go back to I think it's go back to like prison with two people that was in one cell. They were called comrades. You know, meaning they would basically had to live together, so they would have to look out for each other. So that's where the word camaraderie comes from.
That's right.
Yeah, I got it.
As a matter of fact, you can look it up.
Yeah, the word comrade goes into camarera or camera or chamber, or from the Spanish camarada, which is roommate.
Yeah, which we are all spiritual roommates, you know, in the same jail cell here in America.
That's right.
You know,
Right.
so we have to have that camaraderie because we're comrades. Go ahead.
That also is chamber fellow.
Yeah. You locked in a chamber with your fellow.
Prison
you know?
mate.
A prison mate, man. You know, if you got food and he don't got food, you gotta look out for him.
Right.
So that's the same thing in the spirit. You know, if you see this man is gonna do something that's gonna get him thrown in a hole or solitary confinement, you're supposed to be, hey man, do that shit, bro. Come on, man. You ain't got but 2 weeks left, man. You know, like, if you do that shit, man, they gonna throw you in solitary, bro. Don't do that shit.
So he don't bug out.
Yep.
Because when you in them cells, man, you know, jail bar, so to speak, is constantly in your environment. You start to think like a prisoner, man.
Yeah.
But you gotta always keep your mind on getting free, man.
Yeah.
Just like you said, it's the mind frame, and you gotta console yourself with the men that's been doing the time and that's been holding it down.
Yeah.
We started out with the apostles. The apostles been doing the time in the spirit of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man, 30 plus years in the joint.
That's right.
Yeah.
And still holding it down.
Yeah, here it is. You know, the prison is about to be overthrown. You know, and you know, men are going to get liberated and set free. And you got a lot of men that want to stay in prison. You know, just like the brother said, you know, partying and you know, basically just enjoying
that partying bullshit.
Yeah, enjoying the prison. You got niggas, you know. Because, hey, you look at these prisons nowadays, man, they got cell phones and TVs.
They're smoking weed.
Yeah, niggas like it. You know?
Niggas hot Cheetos.
You know? Niggas got honey. You see that nigga that was flexing, he had the honey buns. That Jake was in the cell. He said, I got more snacks in here than you niggas got in your crib. But you got, you know, and I was just joking, but you got niggas like that basically are enjoying prison, and they're not looking for be free, right? You know, from the hell.
That's right. And that's why the scripture says that the captain hasted. I'm trying to look for real fast, but it speaks about how the prisoner, the prison captain hasted that he may be loose from prison, and that he should not die in the pit.
Right.
You know, so we should be in that same mind frame that we don't die in this thing, man. King David said, I shall not outlive and declare the works of the Most High. So while we in there, you know, we gotta do that. You got individuals that might come into prison straight and they leave that thing gay, man. Yeah. You know, the file on drugs, just bugging the hell out.
Institutionalized.
Go back to the military, because the military is a form of prison.
Yeah.
You know, you got certain people that actually take deals to actually escape prison.
Yeah.
You know, to fight and join the military. So
niggas get institutionalized in prisons. You know, meaning they cultivate their mind frame after the regimen of prison. You know, they wake up every day at a certain time. Yeah. They act a certain type of way. You know, because they're institutionalized. Yeah. And it's the same thing here in America. You got some people that's doing this prison time, and they get so institutionalized that they become coons.
Yeah.
You know, a coon is nothing but an institutionalized nigga in America.
So you don't house niggas.
They're institutionalized. They all about college, degrees, success, 401k, credit, church on Sundays. Both, neckties. You know, that's what niggas is about. It's an institutionalized nigga. His boots is not strapped. He don't know nothing about no trench work, no grunt work, no field work. Yeah, that field work, that work we did today. Yeah. You know, me and a couple of brothers, we did a job today, and that's real serious man work, man. You get dirty, spiders crawling on you. Yeah, you know, you get mosquito bites, snakes crawling every goddamn where. You know, you getting scratched by screws and nails and all kind of shit. Man. You know, a prissy ass nigga would never do a job like that. Man. But that's symbolic of grunt work, man. That's right. We spiritual grunt workers. That's right. You know, we have to take the sacrifices of a 10, 30, 11, 12 o'clock night, knowing you got to be up in a couple of hours. Man. Right. Yeah. We have to drive all the way across town maybe to pick a brother up and pick a brother home. Yep. You know, we have to deal with the sacrifices of losing sleep, the sacrifices of family members. That's right. You know, the sacrifices of your body. You know, well, you might have a cold, you might have a sickness that's tearing you up, and you still drive, and you still, you know, grab your book bag and you jump in your car, headed to camp. You got traces of the flu. That's grunt work.
Yeah, that's right.
You ain't in the spirit of calling out. You might have a back pain, back spasm, or something like that, and you still go out and stand on the concrete in the freezing cold, man. You might have a migraine headache that's you know, just messing up your whole mood, but you still get up out the bed, and you put your shoes and your garment, and you sing a prayer up, and you still ride out the camp. That's grunt work.
Yeah, that's right. Because like I say, that's like a precept I read, being instant, man. Yeah. You know, you being instant, man. You don't think about it, man. You just do it, man. Yeah. You know, that's right. That's why it's going to be instinctive.
Kind of, because you're just doing it off the joke, so to speak. Instead of being double-minded, pondering, and being indecisive, just trying to fix, you know, you gotta make a quick decision, quick and wise decision.
And I got the precept that I was quoting earlier. Yeah. Isaiah 51:14. The captive exile hasted that he may be loose, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the mindset we should have, man, to get up out of this thing, man. So that we should be loose from the prison, and we shouldn't die in our bread. That was the bread, the word, man. Our hope. Because you got a lot of men that hope failed them, man. And they did what? They went back into the world. They said, F it. They said, well, this is just prison. This is how prison gonna be. This is just life. Might as well just roll with the punches of Babylon.
Just went back into family life.
Instead of going against the grain, they just started moving with the course of the world, man.
Yeah, some men left this truth and just went back to being a family guy. Some men left the truth and went neck deep into the world. Some men left the truth for a job, for a relationship, you know, for envying, right, contentions. Whatever the case may be, man, you weren't willing to put in that grunt work. That's right. You weren't willing to make the sacrifices necessary in order for the kingdom of heaven to flourish. Right. You know, in order for the brethren to be fed in the proper spirit, you weren't willing to do that. That's right. You know, so you got tired of the laborious trenches, man. You know, the trenches got too deep. Yeah. You know, and that's why you got to pray to YAHAWASHI to strengthen your mind and not to take away His Holy Spirit. You know, because the times we going into, all of you guys that think you left the truth and you in some safe and secure, you think you safe and secure, you really about to be one of the first waves to really get it. Because they know you. They see you. They know your tag number. They know your face, man. That's right. All right, they know everything you got going on, man. They're not slow. All right, so they're gonna try you as well. They're gonna try the GOCCs, the ISUPKs, the IUICs, and the HOIs. That's right. And they see you. They see you. That's right. It ain't like they just see us. They see all of you, man. That's right. They see everything you got going on, man. Because you're in them trenches, you're gonna be in line of any fight. That's right. Because the trenches is what? It's real muddy. Yeah. It's real. You know, it's real nasty and dirty, and gritty, but it's safe. Yeah, because the enemy can't see anything. You can't see because you're in the trenches. Yeah. But you can see the enemy. Yeah. You know, but if you ain't in the trenches, you fully exposed. Yeah. You have no protective hedge. You wide open on the battlefield, man. Right. So who you think gonna be the first ones in line of fire, man? All you guys that left the trenches is a safety. The safety, man. You know, it's retail. You know, so yeah. Bombs letting off at the top and splashing mud down on them. You know, it's loud. You can't hear. You got wood everywhere. You still gotta have the mind frame to continue to build the trench while the war's fighting. You gotta keep digging. You gotta keep setting up the sandbags. You know, the wood. You gotta set the trench in the midst of the battle. It gets grimy, man.
Yeah, a lot of times you set those trenches or those foxholes up, it's part to the battle because you prepare yourself. Yeah, and when the enemy's coming up that territory, man, you already got your line. You know, you already got where you can push that barrel out. You know, where you can hit the enemy. And they compromise where you at. You relocate, man. You can jump into another hole. All right, sometimes you might have to, you know, drop your gun. You might have to use the knife. You know, but hey, you gotta do what it takes, man. This is a tooth and nail fight in order to reach the kingdom of heaven, man. That's right. You got some men that just throw their gun on the ground, disguise their clothes, and go amongst the citizens like they just you know, regular individuals, man.
That's why. Yeah. That's why the scriptures say what he that taking his hand off the plow.
I got that.
You got that? Yeah, the spirit. That's the spirit. Yep.
Luke 9:62. Yep. And Yahawashi said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of YAHAWASHI and Yahawashi.
That's right. You know, yeah, so the man will put his hand to the plow and put his hand to his work, which occupied his ministry, and you left, you know, for whatever reason, you ain't fit for the kingdom of YAHAWASHI and Yahawashi, man. Right. You know, like Brother Tazawam said, you guys is going to be that example, man. The scriptures say that what judgment going to begin at the house of Israel. Yeah, that's right. You know, scriptures also say in Luke, like in Luke 12, where it say those that knew the Lord's will, roughly paraphrasing, shall be beaten with many stripes. You know, yeah, man. You guys that took it, you stopped digging, man. Yeah. You know, you was digging, you didn't see, basically you didn't see the purpose of the digging. Like, we digging, bro. why we digging for, man?
Yeah.
You know, you lost focus. You fuck, man, I'm just, you know, you left, man.
Yeah, instead of
Right.
staying down.
Staying down, just keep plowing, man.
Hey,
You got it.
I got something. I gotta bring this out.
I was just, I wanted to actually press through because really none of us put in the work that these men in the scriptures did. You know, we emulate our elders, you know, starting off, of course, with the elders in the scriptures and the individuals that actually laid down the foundation of wars. But a lot of times, man, they had to defend this thing unto death, man. They got locked up in prison. They had to do big boy jail time. Paul, Jeremiah, you know, they were in jacked up situations. David was always on the run. Here it is, his son slept with all his concubines, and he was still faithful, man. He didn't forsake the Most High. Like, dang, Lord, you gonna let that man sleep with my concubines? You know, you could have changed that. No, it was all for a greater purpose.
Right.
David still stayed down. He still sent up them songs. All right, man was seeking his life, seeking to slay him. Sometimes he had to recreate himself amongst the enemies. One time, David played slow, so to speak. He played foolish. Because he knew how to play the snake, man.
Yeah.
He knew the art of wisdom, and he used it. He used those spiritual reserves in all situations and circumstances, because he was always doing what? Building, establishing himself. You know, praying. Right. When he was in the background, he wasn't bullshit, just drinking yayan and clubbing amongst the Israelites, so to speak, amongst the commoners. Nah, he was staying down, man. Whether he was praying to the Most High. That's why you got over 100 or 150 songs to be told, man. That takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of inspiration. It takes a lot of pondering, meditation. All right, and on top of that, what was he doing? Building in the knowledge, consulting with men in his class, so to speak, figuring out how to judge and do all the basically elevate his office. So it's the same thing in his faith. We got to elevate our offices to match potential, so that when these times come, we'll be able to direct ourselves to safety, man. That's all
I got something real quick. I got the etymology of the word trench. Late 14th century, it says a track cut through a wood.
Mm-hmm.
Later, long, narrow ditch. Woo! You understand what that's saying? It's a narrow ditch. Now, what is this path called?
Oh, man.
It's called the straight and narrow gate, the straight and narrow path.
That's right.
So the trench is really that. The trenches is really that straight gate.
That's right.
That narrow ditch that you must be in order to fight the warfare.
That's right.
It says a slice, cut, gash, slash, a defensive dish. I mean, it's like a defensive ditch. Now I'm gonna go down to the last part because it go into Trincare or Trintare, right? So it says cross over, pass through, overcome. Only way you can overcome the war is if you're in the trenches, man.
That's it.
If you're really getting it in for YAHAWASHI, no matter what, man. You know, because even though it may look like the opposition is gaining steam, he think he got something going. Then next thing you know, you something happens to where he can't break it.
Right.
He can't break his spirit. You know, because you in trench. It's called trench warfare. That's where you get the trench coat from the British. When the British that were in the trenches, they wore those particular coats. They would call them trench coats.
Yeah, trench coats, right?
Yeah, you know, because they were actually in the trenches, man. You know, so that's like that Inspector Gadget coat, man.
Trench.
You got all kind of different, you got all kind of different compartments. You know, different ways to get out of the fuck shit. Yeah, you know, for lack of better words, man. So like the brother Ratazah put the title together, strap on your boots. Now, what does the scriptures tell you in Ephesians the 6th chapter? It says, have your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Woo. You know, so the boots that he's talking about is the spiritual boots, man.
That's right.
You know, this word, knowing this word, man. Yeah, you know, and that's why he said, have your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Because why? Because we pilgrims.
That's right.
You know, so we have to spiritually move around in order to get this word out. You know, so that these are the things necessary in order to actually be fully engaged in the spiritual battle. You know, You got to have the full armor.
That's right.
And a part of that is, first and foremost, you got to have the name of YAHAWASHI. That's your strong tower. That's your watchtower, first and foremost.
Right.
You know, you got to have a guide. You have to have someone there to actually tell you that the enemy is on the way. So first and foremost, you got to know the name. Second of all, you got to make sure that now you know where the watchtower is at, which is the name. Now you have to make sure that you have on your armor.
That's right.
Your spiritual armor. You know, what am I missing, man? I got my sword, I got my helmet, I got my breastplate, I got my, you know, my shin straps, my feet, my boots is properly set up. You know, when you got everything ready to go, then you're supposed to step out on the battlefield with a level of courageousness and bravery.
Right.
You know, so you can get the job done, man. You know, God, go ahead.
This is Ephesians 6 and 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Yeah, the whole armor, man. All right, that's why we're fighting a spiritual battle, man. All right, not a physical or carnal battle, like the brother said earlier. Esau wants to make it carnal, but it's spiritual, man. All right, you got to spiritually arm yourself. You know, you got to have your breastplate, your helmet, you know, your sword, your shield, your boots. But each one of those elements is a spiritual aspect to it, man. The only way you're going to obtain that is through these scriptures, man. All right, go ahead.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
Right, so we going against this spiritual demon Satan, man. We actually going against the vibration of this world, man. So yeah, the left-hand side energy, man. We the right-hand side. So it's a tug of war between spiritual realms, so to speak, man.
And that's why demons always be in our corner, man.
Right.
Constantly trying to punch us, peg us, because this is a fight, man. This is warfare.
That's right.
And how do you fight the beast? Through the word, man. Through the word of YAHAWASHI. Because you have a sword. What's your sword?
That's right.
Hebrews 4 and 12. You have an armor to protect you, which is this word.
That's right.
This is the shield. All right, that's why the scriptures say that. And Paul is describing each and everything as such.
All right, so it says, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So if spiritual wickedness is in high places, then spiritual righteousness has to be where? In low places.
That's right.
So the lowly, what the scriptures speak about how the lowly is receive wisdom, we represent the lowly. We represent the bottom of the class, but we represent the elites of our nation. The elect versus the elites. All right, we're both the chosen. All right, even though it has nothing to do with finances, it doesn't have to do nothing to do with financial state, so to speak. It has to do with spiritual level you want. And those two extremes are going to clash. It's a clash of the titans, man.
Yeah.
So it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
Yeah, and then you watch individuals, you watch these military movies, and they be strapped up, man.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you'll watch movies like Drawhead, and they'll have the coach, I forget the position, the military leader. You know, he'll time you on how quick you is and on how on point you is for putting your stuff on, man.
Yeah.
You know, he'll frack the tent. You know, see how quick you is. If you shuffling, you don't even know where my head at. Where my sword at? I lost my.
You just shook.
You would have been dead, man. Yeah. That's why your gun gotta always be on you. That's why they have the cadence. That's why they have those certain sayings. This is my rifle. This is my gun. You know, he said this is for fighting. This is for fun, man. So you know they basically saying that, showing you this has to be a Sophia, man. Your military weapon is your woman, man. Has to be beside you at all times. If it's not physically beside you, it has to be spiritually in you, man.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
No man should come to the battlefield without a sword. That's foolishness, man. You can actually come to the battlefield to die then.
Yeah.
All right, so it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, which represents the word of YAHAWASHI, the priest would wear a breastplate, and it would represent, the 12 tribes, man. All right, the spirit basically dwelling in their inwards at all times, illuminating, shining, and that's where the Most High would project His image through the Urim and Thummim, because those Urim and Thummim would be behind the breastplate, the two stones, which represent what? Urim is, if I'm not mistaken, light or truth, and I got to look up Thummim. I forget exactly what it is. Brother, look up the definition of Thummim. But that represents the knowledge and wisdom of YAHAWASHI constantly being with it. Because we have the Urim and the Thummim, which is what? The word.
Yep.
All right, that's dwelling in our spirits. So it says, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Just like the brother was saying, having those feet strapped, man. Right. You shouldn't be loose lace, man. Tripping up all over, tripping up before you even getting on the battlefield.
Yeah, you don't know the doctrine. That means you don't know the gospel of peace. If you're tripping up everywhere, you're watching GOCC and you thinking that, hey, well, it might be some mermaids. Well, it might be off to eat sweet potatoes, man. And things of that nature. Because you ain't got your feet shod, man. You tripping up on shit, man. You're watching all kind of different videos. Then next thing you know, you end up like Jay the producer. You don't even believe you're Israelite anymore, man.
Totally bugged out.
Because you don't have your feet shod, man. You're tripping up, man. Well, you gotta have your boots strapped, like the title of the videos, right? Shod. Look up the word shod if you could, Baba Shod.
I got them on Urim and Thummim.
Okay.
This I got typed in on Wikipedia. It says the Urim and the Thummim, meaning uncertain, possibly lights and perfections.
Yeah,
that's the word. The word is the light and perfection.
Yeah, Urim is a war, and Thummim is a perfection. I can't remember how to say Thummim in the Hebrew, but it's a war, something. Meaning lights and perfection. What's the Urim and the Thummim today? The laptops, the phones. It's like the modern day crystal ball. Because the crystal ball back in the day was nothing but a Urim and a Thummim, for the left hand side.
Right. It would help project the outcome.
Right.
That's basically a insight of so-called clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is basically being able to see the future. So this is the so-called crystal ball, because the crystal ball was known to actually show you the future and what would occur in future situations, and how to maneuver in those situations, man. That's why even when you watch these different movies like 300, where you had Leonidas climb to the hilltops and he was consulting with I forget the office of those individuals, the Delphic oracles, the Delphic oracles, and they basically were known to tell future events or future occurrences that will come to pass. Prophecy, so to speak. They were witches and soothsayers, and these words are the prophecies. And it's all about how you react to these prophecies to dictate if you're going to actually survive or you're going to die. Right. Prime example of the witch of Endor. That was an example how she resurrected Saul. And Saul basically told through the prophecy that Samuel was going to resurrected Samuel, and Samuel spoke about how Saul was going to die. But I have the definition of shod, and it goes back to the Hebrew word, the Greek word hypodio, which means to underbind, to bind under oneself, strapped.
Basically being strapped. That's right. Having your feet strapped or shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, man. That's right. Now this doctrine that we have, even though it's very aggressive, it's manly, it's peaceful. That's right. So we have to understand that when we're dealing with people, we have to push a spirit of peace. That's right. A spirit of, listen, we being bothered. We're the ones being bothered. We want to live in a society where we're not being bothered by the enemy. That's right. So judgment is going to come to the wicked. Yeah, the Most High is going to kill niggas. Yeah, the Lord is going to kill Edomites. But why is he going to do that? Because we want to be in peace, man. That's right. What we saying is is a word of peace. You know? So that's the type of doctrine, that's the type of spirit that we got to move in, man. We seeking peace on earth. YAHAWASHI is known as what? The King of Peace, man.
That's right.
That was King Solomon.
Right.
Shalom.
Yeah. King of Peace. You know, that's where you get the word shalom from. Peace.
That's right. Peace.
You know, Malak Shah Shalom. The King of Peace, man. Because YAHAWASHI wants peace on earth. That's why when you read in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, it speaks about after YAHAWASHI comes that they're gonna basically beat their swords into pruning hooks and their spears into plow hooks, plowshares. Yes,
That's right. That's right.
yeah. Roughly paraphrasing, man, it kind of slipped. It kind of slipped you, but
Yeah.
that's because he's a power of peace. That's why after World War III and America get destroyed, it ain't gonna be a need for missiles, tanks, and MRAPs and Humvees and guns and stuff like that, man. Even when we get in the kingdom of heaven, even the elect and the Israelites beating the shit out of Esau and the other nations, that's still peace.
Right.
It's still peaceful. It's still gonna be peace on earth because we're gonna have Satan under our feet.
That's right.
You know, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. So, you know, having the feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace is very important, man. You can't be moving around out here like you about to take Esau down carnally and shit, man.
Right.
You know, acting like you really want to go toe to toe with this devil on a carnal level, man.
Yeah.
You got to be like a sheep.
That's right.
Sheep don't make much noise, man. They're very quiet, low key. You know, real humble. Got a real humble look.
Mm-hmm.
They're soft,
Delicate.
delicate. What'd you say?
Followers.
Followers. They don't make loud. They don't run loud or walk loud like a boar or elephant.
Right.
Very, you know, soft walk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's how we gotta be. You know, that innocence, man. Think about YAHAWASHI. When he was getting ready to be delivered over and turned over to the Romans, he didn't speak much. He moved in the manner of what? Of a lamb, a sheep, man.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't talk much. He wasn't trying to explain to the crowd when they chose Barabbas. He wasn't trying to say, "Hey, come on, man, I'm the King of Peace." He just sat there and he just took it in. Didn't use many because he was the sheep. You know, so that's the type. He didn't have the mind frame of you know, when Peter drew the sword and chopped the Roman's ear off. YAHAWASHI said, "Listen." He put the ear back on and said, "This is my kingdom. My men will fight." We ain't coming in that spirit of being carnal with you devils. You devils want to get carnal with us.
Yep.
But that's why we gotta stay calm, and we have to use the spirit in order to convict these Edomites, man. Because the spirit is so powerful. The spirit of YAHAWASHI is so powerful that you could actually make Esau feel guilty about what he's doing, man. Mm-hmm. That's how powerful the spirit is, and that's when you win the battle. Right. When you can actually have power to convince the wicked that you're the righteous, like Pontius Pilate and his wife. Yeah, this man is righteous.
Yeah,
you know, even during the Roman time, you had some Edomites that was trying to fight with Jake, man. That's historical facts. You know. Yeah, you got it.
All right, so verse 16. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High.
That's right. Yeah, the word of the Most High, man, that sword, man. All right? Constantly having a sword by our side. But say, having it in your mind, man. All right? So you constantly meditate, you know, go over things in the spirit, you know, so the truth is always with you, man.
Growing and elevating, man.
Yeah, elevate. And then it said, what, verse up, it said, what? Fight the fiery darts of Satan, man.
Right.
You know?
Because the fiery darts come quick, man.
That's right.
You look at archers, man, they dip that bow and that fire, you know, then they arch them and they let them things off.
That's right.
And in order to repel that, you gotta have proper military formation, man. Mm-hmm. You watch movies like 300, they all know how to position themselves. when they cover themselves. If you being simple as hell, like, oh shit, I didn't know the arrows was coming.
And you gotta
Y'all
have good
gonna get
behavior.
shot.
You gotta have good behavior in the military too.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't be no badass little fucking rebel that's trying to tell the captain and the sergeant that's been on battlefields before,
Right.
that's conquered certain tasks to where they're actually able to appoint you. You can't be coming up in the military trying to tell man, the sergeant don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Straight.
Man, he's been on the battlefield. What are you talking about?
You got them stars.
That's why you exactly. That's your that's symbolic of your crown. That's why it tells you in matter of fact, I'm gonna just get it real quick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it real
go
quick. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which that represents what? Your reward for you fighting a fight. So when you look into an army or a military perspective, these men has been in World War II, Desert Storm, the war in Iraq, and things of that nature. And they Vietnam, and they graduate to a level of superiority because they actually was on the battlefield at one point in time, and they made it out safe. So because they've done so, the military uses those men to appoint the different corporals and things of that nature that comes up under them. And how do they show that they have actually experienced the battlefield? They wear their badges. That represents the crown.
Yep.
So when we fight this good fight of faith, our badge or our medal of honor will be symbolic of an actual crown. We will actually have a crown.
That's right.
That's written of in 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter.
That's right.
And you had certain men that were so aggressive in the battlefield. So I can cut you off. You want to say some more?
That was it.
Yeah, I want to say that they had certain men, even in the scriptures, that were so aggressive in the battlefield that they would actually wear other king's crowns. That shows you that you accomplished something. King David put on the king's crown that he actually killed, showing you he's taking men down, man.
You had Salaki, not to cut you off, but you had Judas Maccabees who killed the king of I think it was the king of Syria. And then he killed him, and then he took his sword, and then he fought with his sword, and he killed many people with the king's sword that he killed.
Yeah, and it speaks about even YAHAWASHI, how he's gonna wear many crowns, because he's gonna take down many kings. He's gonna destroy many offices, and he's gonna absorb those, man. Just like an emperor takes over an empire, so to speak. An empire is nothing more than an emperor ruling over many provinces, so to speak. Even though they might be separate sovereign states, they might have their own specific jurisdiction. They might have a specific guideline on how they actually live amongst the people, certain economics, but they give treaties, they give tribute onto that major king because what? He took them down.
Yeah, that's the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Right. That's the Infinity Stones, man. Yeah. When you take down a certain thing and you conquer that area, you wear their trademark, so to speak. Like Barzal said, you absorb their energy. Yep. But before you can even get to that point, you gotta know how to assemble your weapon. You gotta know how to dress. You gotta know how to take orders.
Right, that's true.
You gotta know the basic things before you can even get a medal.
Yeah.
You know?
Get stripes, so to speak.
Yeah, before you can get you know, Jake tried to skip all them steps, and just jump right into the kingdom. Like, no. You gotta know the basics of, you know, the order. What's the mission for the day?
Right.
You know, Jake just looked beyond everything that they're supposed to do and incorporate, and they just want to skip to the glory of it, but they don't want to fight the war. They just want the glory. And that's just another nigga that's gonna go AWOL.
That's right.
You know, I'm gonna finish it off
because his whole initial mind frame is not serving the country, man. He just wants to be somebody. He tells you that also in Maccabees, that individual who wanted to be somebody, and what happened? He died, man, because he was disingenuous. If you genuine, and a lot of times military leaders are genuine, they didn't even come in the military to rule it. The position was assigned to them. They just fought that good fight, man. They just did the duty that was commanded to them.
That's right.
If you go ahead.
And the scriptures also talk about seeking preeminence.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, what you guys are talking about.
Come and just finish it up. This is 2 Timothy 4:8. It says, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day. And not only to me, but unto all them also that love his appearing. So that's the Apostle Paul speaking similar words as Esdras. That's clearly the prophets being subject unto the prophets, man. A lot of the prophets had similar visions.
Yep.
Daniel and John and Revelator.
Yep.
You know.
Isaiah, Jeremiah.
Yeah, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel.
Yep.
You know, Habakkuk. Habakkuk saw the chariots. You know, Habakkuk saw the end. That's Malachi.
Zechariah.
Yeah, Malachi saw the end of the world. He just like said, yeah. Behold, the day of the Lord coming shall burn. It shall burn as an oven.
Yep.
Then that links right up with who? Peter.
Peter.
Peter saw it.
Yep.
So the prophets wrote the same records.
That's right.
You ain't gonna have one prophet that's saying, you know, the world is going to be overthrown by fire and missiles, but then you're gonna have in the same book, the day of the Lord is going to be filled with cotton candy and Ferris wheels.
Right.
That ain't nowhere in the scriptures. They subject unto the spirit of a higher power, which is YAHAWASHI, and they all wrote the same visions,
That's right.
the similar visions.
That's right.
You know, so that means what? That those men in the spirit, they had their mind frame where it needed to be. So this is a thing of a mind frame, brothers. You know, it's a thing of a mind frame. We have to have the mind. We have to know the way of YAHAWASHI.
That's right.
You know, and we have to try to reenact that to the best of our ability while we're in this flesh, so we can actually conquer it and be translated into a higher form of understanding, into a higher form of living. But it starts in the ground, in the trench,
On the dirt, groundwork.
yeah.
That's right.
That's where it starts.
That's the best place to build. That's right.
There you go. But that's all I got.
Yeah, and a lot of times they say when you build it and your establishment is not it's sturdy and durable as it should be, what you do, you break it down and you go back to the basics. Apostle always going to that. A lot of boxes, you know, they might slip and they calibration is thrown off. What they do, they gotta go back to the basics, man. That's why even in this truth, you gotta sometimes jump back in that middle.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, beautiful, man.
Yeah.
You know, anybody had anything else? You got to give it wrap it up.
I got something in closing.
Okay, yeah, you
So,
can probably close on that.
Okay. So 2 Peter 1:10. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do all these things, ye shall never fall.
That's right. Yeah, give diligence, man. You know, diligence to make our calling and election sure, man. All right, being in a fervent spirit. All right, diligently pushing the gospel. All right, being occupied in the work, occupied in the ministry and the prophecies. And it says, what if you do these things? That's written. You know, and we banking on that, and we have 100% belief and faith that if we do what the YAHAWASHI tells us to do, He's gonna save us out of these coming perils, man.
That's right.
You know, but if you're not willing to work, you know, the topic of the lesson, get in the trenches. You know, brothers going to Ephesians. If you're not girded or strapped in, if you don't have that armor on, man, you know, you're gonna get caught out there, man.
Yeah.
All right. So we fighting tooth and nail to please YAHAWASHI, man. That's right. All right. Staying in order. All right. Staying, like I said, occupied in this ministry, man. You know, and staying spiritual. All right. So I think that was it right there. All right. So, you know, so with that, hopefully you Akim out there that tuned in were edified. All right. We're going to end giving all praise and honor and glory to
YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI,
right? The BAHA City Apostles and Elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim around the world, pushing the word, no truth, sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.